What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again. And this is where we at here. So you clearly see the title of the broadcast, and this T-App situation is starting to get very dangerous, and also to, exposing the situation that a lot of women have put themselves in the 21st century.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Let's just keep this real out here. Let's just keep this real. This is where we at right now. So, it's a lot of things that's been going on with this T-App. Recently here, they just got, hacked and, for these ladies' information, things like that. Everybody's, it's just going crazy. So listen, look, we're about to dive off into a few things here. And of course, it's always going to be quarters, nickels, and dimes.
My nigga, how the fuck did I get on the T-App? I used to work with him. He gave me gay vibes. Nigga, what? Nigga, I only worked one job with females, bro. And that was at Olive Garden when I was a server. And the reason why I didn't fuck with none of y'all is because y'all was already fucking all the niggas on the job. Peep this. The niggas already told me, showed me text proof on who the fuck was already getting cracked. There was nobody at the Olive Garden that wasn't getting cracked on Camp Creek Parkway. Yes, I set the motherfucking location, nigga, and I know who the fuck did that shit. So you mad I have self-respect? You mad that I didn't give you the attention that you wanted and added to your high body count? And then the first given opportunity, you want to slander my name? What the fuck is wrong with you, gang? You need serious help. T-App, go ahead and make a male version. Now. Now.
Now, my thing of this is what, this young man was saying, the women that actually work with him. So he kind of know, I'm thinking he kind of know who maybe, decided to, post him and stuff like that. But this the thing is too, listen, look, bro, hold on here. Hold on here. One thing, and I'm just finna be honest here, because I'm very old school. These young men need to stop wearing these bonnets. Dude, you're wearing a female's hair garment. To be honest with you, bro, like, we have things for us as men. They call them do-rags.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Do-rags. This is, and I'm not trying to beat the young man down, but at the same time though, too, it has to be some fucking correction going on here. Dude, you wear my daughter wears the same goddamn bonnet out here. My daughter wears that. And then you're wondering why these chicks is tripping on you. Now, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't give women the right to disrespect him online and things like that, anonymously and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, he just didn't want to deal with them. But listen, look, man, your appearance does matter. And I get tired of people not understanding that, both men and women. Our appearance matters out here. Dude, you online wearing a bonnet. Okay. It is what it is at this point. So, saying he said what he had to say. So we're going to keep going here. And this is where we at. Because, it is what it is at this point. Hold on. All right. So we're going to go here now. Let's check this out.
All of our driver's license on the T-App just got leaked. And that is extremely dangerous. I mean, thankfully for me, like, my license address is not like actually where I physically live, but like this needs to be known and shared for everybody's safety, because the T-App is getting out and everybody is finding out about it. And the men are mad. So please be careful.
So first of all, I think she's committing a little fraud here. How you gonna post the address? Or so she had to give a address, basically identification. and things like that to get on this app. And this is the trope about getting on this app. But at the same time, though, too, she said she gave a false address to get on this app. I think that's that's a little fraud, right? Maybe not, maybe not. But this is the point right here that we're at. These it hadn't even been a month yet, and these ladies' information are being leaked, tremendously. And this is the crazy part, but what I'm saying, this is where y'all at right here. Y'all decide to jump on this thing and think that this shit is sweet. So let's go here now and let's check more out.
If you are using the T app, you need to stop right now. The data leak that people reported this morning is actually way worse than what the headlines say. Everything I'm about to share, we figured out with like 20 minutes of research. So this could actually get way worse. Like your private messages, information, etc., could just be everywhere. This morning, somebody says T app breach exposes 72,000 selfies, ID photos, like actual driver's license. And just to be clear, this wasn't a hack. Nobody hacked the app. All of this information is available on publicly accessible Google Firebase servers. So anyone technical could go.
Oh, so the alleged talking point is that the app got hacked. So okay, it didn't get hacked. Y'all got your information on Google search. Jesus Christ. This is wild.
And get any of the verification photos that people use to prove that they were a woman. Not good. All this metadata is publicly available. And so they even made a map out of where all the users are. Also not good. Not only that, but all of your private messages are accessible. Here, oh my God, I never knew that. I always knew he was a scammer, but he gave broke to me and never spent money and was living with his roommate at the time. It's another one. I hate him. He is so pathetic. I can see that user A, like this specific user, is sending that to user B, like another specific user. I don't want to say their usernames. Look at the URL here. You can pull up the photos that people were sending in private messages with each other. All of your private messages, group chats, etc., can be downloaded. And we figured this out in like 20 minutes. We haven't tested this out, but we're pretty sure you can delete any account. I kind of don't think it's a bad idea.
Stop it. And this is where we at here. So obviously the information that these ladies have posted, with their IP numbers, and everybody wants to escape these facts. Your IP number is the number that you use from the internet, your computer number, basically. And yeah, it's able to be tracked. Phone, computer, the internet tracking number. Man, this is wild out here, but this is where we at. These ladies thought process was, they weren't going to be tracked at all. And the internet tracks everything. And it's not going to stop. And it's not going to stop because this is just how it is. It's not going to stop. So, a lot of women's information is out there now. And it's not going to go anywhere, because y'all playing these games and thinking that y'all going to be able to post on these situations and stuff like that. Talk about people behind their backs, basically. And there's not going to be any consequences for the slander or whatever's going on. Now, I'm not saying that it's not possible that some of these women have actual, tangible issues with some of these men, because I'm not trying to uphold, some men are actual trash. It's just that's life. I don't care what culture you are, black, white, Asian, Filipino, whatever. Some men are trash on this planet, just like some women are trash on this planet. We have trash people in every culture, every race. But this is the point right here, and this is where we at right here. So, but this app is strategically designed for women to sit there and just only bash men with no accountability, no actual, fact check on the situation and things like that. And this is a huge problem when you're out here just ruining people's lives and things like that. And there's no, a real accountability. Hold on here. So we're going to keep going. Let's check her out real quick.
Listen to me carefully, TikTok. I think the CIA put that T app out. That T app is going to cause a lot of people to get unalived and fucked up in real life. There is a lot of mad, bitter women up there on that T app that is using that app specifically to drag and assassinate a lot of innocent men's character on that app. And that is dangerous. When you are single-handedly putting someone out there for the world to see, and you are destroying their reputation and assassinating their character, that is a recipe for a disaster. And half of these men got mommy and daddy issues. Y'all better be careful posting on that T app, because a lot of these men that y'all fuck with in the past, they're gonna put two and two together and they're gonna come after y'all ass. You think they don't know who posted that shit? You think these men don't know who they fucking with and who they done pissed off? Consider the source and move on. Consider the source and move on. And here's my thing with y'all women too. You don't need to be fucking with the nigga if you gotta put him on the app and asking the world what's tea. You already know what's tea. That's why you put him on the app in the first place, because your intuition told you the nigga want shit. Okay, go with your gut feeling and move on. But y'all are going to get yourselves unalived fucking with this app.
Yo.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Now, I see where she coming from in her mindset and stuff like that. Like, excuse me, I had to belch there, you know. But I see where she coming from, though. This is highly dangerous. And, you know, not only are the men that are actually dangerous getting exposed, they're exposing men that really haven't done anything except for disagree with what that chick is, you know, what her mission is, technically. And, you know, we all know these are facts out here. You know, if you as a man don't necessarily agree with what you know this woman's mission is for you to engage with her, and you dismiss her or something like that, or you just, you know, saying don't, you know, of course you're not going to engage with what the fuck she thinks she needs to and wants, you know, saying like, yeah, that's going to be a problem in today's society. You know what I'm saying? Most women are, you know, because of the mystical trope, and, you know, these women are queens and they're goddesses and they're the best thing that ever happened since sliced bread out here. Yeah, they think that, you know what I'm saying, us weakling ass men as a whole, we're just supposed to, you know, accept any damn thing that these women toss our way, whether it be getting deleted for them for no reason or whatever. And it's a hard situation that, you know, we've been, you know, that society has, you know, allowed these women to come to this point, you know, mentally, and think that we as men are just supposed to keep tolerating these disrespectful situations and things like that. So, you know what I'm saying? All right, because it's crazy out here. It's crazy. And it's going to keep being crazy because of the situation. So, all right. Let's go here. Now, let's see what this brother has to say about the situation, because it's very much real out here.
What we're not having a conversation about is why the T app is failing. And we want to give women the credit for its implosion, but the real reason and the truth of the matter is it's failing because there are not that many male abusers as women would like to tell themselves. So all it's devolved into is a pool of bitter, angry, and upset women that would like to label their undesirable outcomes as trauma. Because the one thing that we're not hearing women say that they're exchanging on the app is criminal records. Seeing as how anybody can go down to the police station and make a criminal records request as they are public, why are we not seeing them do that? Because likely the men that do have records that are on that app that they keep trying to expose don't have records that are associated with female violence. Because to post that would prove that women are making a conscious effort to date those men that are subpar as it pertains to criminality, education, finance, and reason. Face it, black women, black men are not as predatory as you would like them to be. Starting with Diddy, you done caught them all, and now all that you're left with are the men that are on your level.
Yo. So basically what this brother's breaking down is that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these men aren't these super predators that, you know what I'm saying, women try to make they try to make men out to be. And you know, we've heard it, you know, and I've heard women, you know, definitely with this situation about this app and stuff like that, you know, these women are posting men that they actually are dealing with, these, you know, the thug men, or however you want to put it. And you know, at the same time though too, you know, they're posting the men, and some are making lies. Maybe a small amount is telling the truth about certain men, but the facts is that we're seeing the outcome of this situation, of this particular app. And of course there's been other apps before and things like that. We all know Facebook and stuff like that. It was, you know, a dude at one point, he, you know, had got aware of this woman was on I think it was a Facebook group that she was slandering him to death. And you know, the evidence and the facts came out that, you know, she was actually in the wrong, and you know, he sued her. You know, this was like what? No, this was a year or two ago. This was like 2 years ago, something like that, almost. But nah, man, we can't, you know what I'm saying, sit around here and think that this is okay. But you know what I'm saying, if these women are going to go out here and do this, fine, y'all do it. It is what it is though. But y'all also are exposing yourselves for the type of men that you actually are choosing to deal with. And these are just facts. These are fucking facts out here. And there's no way around this shit, because y'all women are stupid. And y'all think that y'all finna get online and talk shit, and you know, it's just gonna be okay. So we're gonna go here now. Let's check this out, because obviously it may be a app for the men to expose the ladies. So all right, let's go.
Thanks to the T app rising to the #1 app on the App Store, a counter to the T app has been launched. That app is called Box Score. Introducing Box Score, a man-only app where users anonymously share info and warnings about women to spot red flags. This is the free market at work. Here it is, helping men date safe. We are so far gone. We are cooked. Just like I am against the T app, I am against the Box Score app. We are so cooked. Men, I would say, men, we have to be better. We should not stoop down to the levels of the T app, but we did. And we are, this is a Black Mirror episode playing out in real life. Social credit score system. Oh, we are cooked.
Listen, look. Okay, so what this gentleman is talking about here, you know what I'm saying, and I'm just going to be real here. So when the CIA, the FBI, the government system, when they maneuver and they try to get evidence or information or intel on the opposition and things like that, because listen, look, this is what this is out here, people.
So what the French toast is going to think
This
about?
is what this is. This T app is promoting, is actually, you know, spilling, or whatever you want to call it, intel on the opposition. And this is how these women are looking at this. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Pay attention to what I'm saying. This is women looking at men as the ops. And they're going to tell other women how the ops are moving. So at the end of the day, though, I'm so tired of men, you know, in the 21st century. And listen, look, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you less of a man because you want to get intel on the opposition. If women are looking at you as the ops, then you need to be actually gaining intel as well. I'm so tired of men out here not being intelligent. This is how this rolls. The FBI does it, the CIA does it, all government, you know what I'm saying, entities, do this. This is how this rolls. You have to think about women like a government entity. They're gaining intel on us as a whole, which, you know what I'm saying, to be honest with you, though, most of the women that are posting these pictures of whoever is on the app, stuff like that, like I say, they only really fucking with 20% of the men. But, you know what I'm saying, they use that information to look at all men the same way. And we know this. This is not nothing new. And yeah, we have to gain intel on the ops. Sorry, but you know what I'm saying? I know y'all don't want to look at it that way, but this is the truth. I'm so tired of men thinking that we're not supposed to, you know what I'm saying, strategically move with a thought process like the CIA or the FBI and stuff. Oh, we're men. We're not supposed to, stoop to their level and stuff like that. Bullshit. The FBI do it. They know who you are, your social security number, all this type. Man, please. And if we want to sit around here and say that women are the quote unquote investigators and they investigate, what you think that is? Man, y'all got to stop. Man, y'all got to stop out here. Y'all men got to stop out here. Y'all got to grow up. This is the new age. This technology is allowing us to actually strategically be able to, you know what I'm saying, get more ignorant people out of our lives than, you know what I'm saying, than necessary to be there. All right, so we're going to keep going here because this is ridiculous. Let's do this.
Like, who allowed this kind of app to flourish unchecked? Where is the accountability for mishandling this user data? And why do some platforms get to operate with different ethical standards when the target is men? So there's an app called T, and it's been topping the Apple App Store. And it was designed to help women date safely. But there's one feature that sparked serious controversy. It allowed women to anonymously post red flags about men. And now that seems kind of innocent, but there's no proof. There's no context. It's just open season. I myself could sign up as a woman. I could go online, find a random man on LinkedIn, claim I went out on a date with him, make up some wildish, outlandish story about him, like a Yelp review, and then just post it as if it was true, but there could be no truth to it. And now it's been completely compromised. Hackers broke in and leaked 72,000 private images, including 13,000 selfies, chat messages, and even their verified IDs like driver's licenses. Now, these women's addresses are even online. Somebody built a map showing all of their addresses. When you build an app that encourages one-sided smear campaigns, it creates a dangerous precedent for both men and women.
Right. Right. And the previous lady that I showed you guys in this broadcast, she showed that map and it was congested with a shit ton of, she didn't break it down individual, but Jesus, man. And this is where we at right here. Yes. Women with this T app, man, whoever created this T app, they knew what they were doing. And also, like I said in my TikTok video, I think it's more than just, you know what I'm saying, also women being able to, expose the men that they're dealing with. Everything is a deeper level. Like I said on my TikTok, you know what I'm saying? I think this situation is also for women to put out their, identification and stuff like that, for the powers that be to check their background, stuff like that. A lot of it, like I said in my TikTok, a lot of these women owe student loans and stuff like that they ain't, not being accountable for. They're trying to avoid. And yeah, man, a lot of women finna be screwed up behind this. You know what I'm saying? This shit about to hit the fan in the next, about the next year. Definitely around the holidays. I think it's going to be a crazy situation that go down around the holidays. So, all right, we're going to keep going. We're going to go to the situation right here with Tomi Lahren, and she's going to speak about the facts that, how a lot of men nowadays, you know, due to the movements, all this crazy stuff, are not just coming up to women. And we've been hearing this online a lot, you know what I'm saying? The women popping up, or why men don't approach women anymore, things like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, the thing of this is, and I'm just going to be honest here, the women that actually still want traditional men or still want men to be men and stuff like that, y'all gonna have to put these bats in check. Y'all gonna have to put your sisterhood code or whatever y'all want to call it. Y'all gonna have to put them women in check. Like women back in the day used to have those women in check. It used to be a separation of wives and nightlife women. I'm trying to be nice here, but it used to be a separation. Nowadays it's not. So let's go here now. Let's see what Tommy had to say. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
It bothers me because there's a reason why young men and men in general, to our earlier point, are not coming up and approaching women. They're not actively looking to date. It's because of things like this. And I actually posted about this on my own Instagram, and the number of men in the comments when asked why they don't approach women or why they're not even trying to date is, I don't want to be the butt of a joke on social media. I don't want to be made fun of. I don't want to be mocked. I'd rather just live my own life and stay to myself. So these kind of apps, they're not helping. To all the young women out there that want to find a man, going on apps like this to read just smut about other people, it's not helping your case.
Listen, look here. Shout out to her for that. But that's the issue, though. That's the issue, though. You know what I'm saying? Women need to start checking other women, and you know what I'm saying, and putting, you know, the night women back in their place. And that's what's happened. The night women have come out and they've taken over the daylight, basically. If you're following what I'm saying, the nightlife women have taken over the daylight, and they've made, you know, they've convinced certain daylight women to, you know what I'm saying, be engaged in certain activities, things like that. But you know what I'm saying, Tommy Law's right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, they're not going to be able to get on these apps and be actually, you know, understanding about the situation, because the stats do show that the majority of women are only dealing with 20% of the men in this country. And 20% of the men is what they're seeing on these apps. And if, you know what I'm saying, we all see it, things like that on the internet, you know what I'm saying, TikTok, everybody's seeing it, you know, men and women. You know, the women that are talking this shit about men and stuff like that. And then, you know, yeah, of course, there's men talking shit about women, period. You know, but the situation here is that this one-sided situation with this app, and it's also discriminatory, you know, to a gender, which, you know, in today's society, you know, we got these gender issues out here. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But, you know, legally, yeah, that's going to be a huge problem for this app and stuff like that. They're discriminating against a whole gender to where they can't get on this app. Just like the app that, you know, allegedly, from what I've heard, that the men's app has already been shut down. Like it hadn't even, it probably wouldn't, I don't think the men's app was even up a whole week before it got shut down. So yeah, this is where we at, people. You know, we have to talk about this T app situation, things like that. You know, it's exploded. You know, I hate it for the ladies, you know, that they've actually got bamboozled into giving up their personal information, because behind the scenes, I think that's what it was really about. You know, and society knows that women are gullible to figure out what's going on with the type of men that they're dealing with. So yeah, I also think there was a serious ploy behind that for women to give up their information. But you know, this is where we at, people. You know, and it's no way out of this situation. You know, y'all ladies out here, you know, got to start dealing with better men, and the men out there that actually see what's going on, Yeah, that's just what's going on. That's just what's going on, man. It's sad. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.